Hi, today we're going to look at predicting products of reactions for a single displacement reaction. A single displacement reaction has the general form of A plus BX yields AX plus B, where A by itself represents an element and BX represents a compound. On the other side of the equation we have AX, a compound, plus B, an element. We're going to work with the reaction of magnesium plus phosphoric acid. Magnesium is going to act as A, and phosphoric acid is BX. But we have a problem. Phosphoric acid is an acid name, not a salt name. So we need to recognize that the phosphoric acid compound is actually the compound hydrogen phosphate dissolved in water. We'll use this name, hydrogen phosphate, to write its formula. So we're going to take magnesium plus hydrogen phosphate and rearrange it to create our products. First, I write the symbols and formulas for magnesium and hydrogen phosphate underneath each of those names, where hydrogen is +1 and phosphate is PO4 with a -3 charge. Next, I predict the products of the reaction following the example of A plus BX yields AX plus B. So A was magnesium and X was phosphate, so magnesium phosphate go together to become our compound, magnesium phosphate. And hydrogen, the B, gets kicked out on its own, so we put plus hydrogen. Now we need to write the formulas for these chemicals. To do so, we write the symbols with their charges for magnesium and phosphate, and we write the symbol for hydrogen. When we put these together, we're going to create a neutral compound of magnesium phosphate, and we're going to remember that hydrogen is a diatomic element. In doing so, we cross down the charges for magnesium and phosphate to get the formula shown, and hydrogen gets a subscript 2 because it's diatomic. Now it's time to balance. With this equation, we're going to balance by inspection. So we look at each side of the equation, one element at a time, and balance the elements as we come to them. Since every element is unique in that it's found in only one place on the left and one place on the right, this should be pretty easy to balance. I usually start with the metals, in this case magnesium. On the left side I have 1 magnesium, while on the right I have 3. To balance those, I'm going to go to the side that needs more, the left side, and put a number in front of magnesium that'll give me a total of 3 magnesiums. By putting a 3 in front, that coefficient multiplies by the invisible subscript 1 to give me a total of 3 magnesiums to balance the 3 magnesiums I have on the other side. Next, I'm going to hydrogen. Hydrogen, there's 3 on the left side and only 2 on the right. So we're going to recognize that hydrogen, has the 2 on one side, 3 on the other, and they have the least common multiple of 6. So we're going to try to get 6 hydrogens on each side. We do this by putting a coefficient in front of each chemical. On the left side, we'll put a 2 in front of phosphoric acid, also known as hydrogen phosphate, to get a total of 6 hydrogens by taking this coefficient 2 and multiplying by the 3. On the right side of the equation, we have a 3 in front of hydrogen multiplied by a subscript 2 to give us a total of 6. When we look at phosphorus, P, we have a 2 in front of hydrogen phosphate, or in front of phosphoric acid, that multiplies by the invisible 1 to give us 2 phosphorus. On the right side, we have a 2 outside the parentheses that multiplies by the invisible 1 inside the parentheses to give us 2 phosphorus. So they're balanced. For oxygen, on the left, we have the 2 coefficient in front of the compound multiplied by the subscript 4 to give us a total of 8. And on the right side, we have a 2 outside the parentheses multiplied by the subscript 4 inside the parentheses to give us a total of 8. What do you know? We've balanced the equation. Let's take a look at a reaction of metals with water, then metals with acid.
Okay, so now we're going to react 4 different metals, calcium, magnesium, zinc, copper with water, and we're going to observe what happens in each case. So first we're going to add some water to the calcium. Alright, straight away we can see it's reacting quite vigorously. Next we have the magnesium. Very little activity there. And we will move on and add an equal volume of water to the zinc. No observable reaction. And finally the copper. Again, there's no reaction. That's lovely, thank you. So now we're going to repeat the same reaction with hydrochloric acid. And again, to make a fair comparison between each, we're going to add the same volume of acid using a dropper heating method. So first we'll start with the calcium. Now you can see a lot of hydrogen gas given off straight away. That's calcium, then our magnesium. And this reacts a lot more vigorously than with the water, but still not as vigorous as with the calcium was. So the calcium, magnesium, now the zinc. Again, just as with the water, no reaction observed here. And finally the copper. And again, as with the water, no reaction observed here. So, to put the 4 metals in order, most reactive, as we can see, is calcium, then the magnesium, then the zinc, and finally the copper. And to carry out a fair test, we used equal volumes of water and acid each time, and the same mass of each metal each time.
So each of these reactions were actually single displacement reactions. We had the element of a metal added to a compound. The first 4 reactions were a metal with water, and we saw the reaction happen most vigorously with calcium. And then the second 4 reactions were metals with acid. And again, we saw more vigorous reaction with calcium and the acid, creating hydrogen gas bubbles. I hope this video has helped you predict the products of single displacement reactions and helped you with balancing them as well. Have a great day.